They're telling us we need to keep our information safe. Sorry, no. Sorry, wrong. That's wrong. They're telling us that they need to keep our information safe, not us. We can't keep our information safe. Only they can. And in order for them to keep our privacy safe, we need to give them more access to our privacy. So in order to have safe privacy, we need to give up privacy. And if you can see the logic in that, you are an Einstein, you're a genius. Because I was always taught 2 plus 2 is 4, but now 2 plus 2 is 5. Hold on, isn't that Orwellian speak or something? Yeah, that's right. In order for us to have our privacy safe, we need to give up our privacy. Yeah, I've got it. I understand. We're told as technology advances, the criminals have got more and more criminal machines in order to overcome the safety measures that they've put on us. And the new safety measures that are coming out are fingerprints, iris scans, DNA, face scans, heartbeat, and all sorts of other things. So they need to have access. We need to tell the machinery what our face looks like, our fingerprints look like, our iris looks like, our heartbeat looks like. And that goes on to a central system which goes through the bank and goes to school and goes to the internet. Because remember, they want to know who's on the internet and they want to know who's looking at what. Of course, it will come down to pornography or something like that, so that, they need to make sure that you're 18 to go and see pornography. And so if they can get some sort of thing from your body to prove that you are who you are, then they'll know if you're of the correct age or not. And of course, they'll do this for noble reasons, because government always does things for us for noble reasons. Government takes our taxes and then goes and kills people in Afghanistan and Iraq because Saudi Arabia did 9/11. So if Saudi Arabia does 9/11, then we attack Afghanistan, and then we kill like 250,000 civilians, and then we maim children, and then women get raped. But that's all logical, and it makes sense. So let's just keep on that narrative. They need to increase cyber attacks and identity theft. That's what they need to do. If they can increase the cyber attacks and identity theft, then there's more fear. So if you increase fear, people then want more safety, and then you give them more safety. So what happens is that all of these celebrities, for some strange reason, are all making sex videos, and they all get leaked. So they need to have more security, because that's what happens. So you put into the mind of the public these little seeds that doing sex videos is good, because people copy celebrities, because celebrities are the new gods and we emulate gods. So they put it into the public narrative consciousness that doing sex videos is good. So lots more people do sex videos, and then to keep that private, then you need to have you need then to give up more of your own privacy and autonomy in order to keep those private things safe, especially money and things like that, because they can come along and steal your money. If you increase the technology that we use, then I suppose you increase the capacity for cyber terrorists to take those things, because everything depends on technology. If you had gold in your house, then a cyber terrorist wouldn't be able to get it. So in order for cyber terrorists to be able to get your money, you therefore want everyone to put their money onto a platform that can be attacked by cyber terrorists. So if you have money in your hand, which no one can get except a mugger, you then want everybody to put that money onto a digital platform where it's more open to cyber terrorists to take the money. And then you say, well, now that we've forced you to put the money onto the platform where you're more exposed, you now need to give up more of your personal freedoms in order to protect it. But every time you give up your personal freedom to protect it, the cyber terrorists are going to counter it with more advanced technology to overcome the security that you've given. Okay, so let's go through that. And not to say, why is this happening? It's because of the metaverse. The metaverse has been created by Zuckerberg, and all those other motley crew. And so what will happen is that they want to get us onto this cyber world so that we are more exposed to cyber attacks. And then in order to protect ourselves, we have to give up more and more of our own privacy. What will happen is they need to change your perception of who you are and what reality is in order for you to allow your privacy to be given away. So they have to get inside your brain. And I reckon the way that they're doing that at the moment is through the children at school and through this gender fluidity. So if you can confuse people at school that they don't really have privacy, that, the sexuality is something that's fluid, it's something that should be open, we're all different, we can be this, we can be this, you can be a man, girl, you can be a girl, man, you can be a boy, man, girl, you can be born a homosexual that identifies as a bisexual, you can be born as a trans that then later, sort of identifies as a lesbian, but then, decides that you're gender fluid. So you're not supposed to be attached to your body. So they're trying to create a dislocation between you and your body so that you give up privacy of the body, because it's not the body isn't who you are. If you have a male body but you're a woman, your body isn't really your body, so you don't really relate to it. So what's the point giving up details to something that you don't really relate to? And then if you want to change your body into something else, you have to sort of separate from your body and not be close and attached to it. Because if you're not attached to a body that you don't believe that you are, then you're more open to have people tinkering with it, like scientists and doctors, in order to change it to something that accommodates you. So you can see how this very psychological element going on. So when it comes down to like the new things that they want, so it's voice recognition, face recognition. They want fingerprint recognition. They want your heart recognition. Did you know that your finger can be printed on a 3D synthetic printer? So if you give your fingerprint and your iris and your face, you can 3D print those things. So if you've got the money, you can get around that very quickly. If you want to do something with your voice, then it's very easy to reproduce somebody's voice. It happened to Joe Rogan, who was talking about monkeys, for instance. So if you want to then use your voice, your face, your eyes, and something else that they can record, so voice, face, eyes, and use all those three can be replicated. So what you're actually doing is by saying that you've got to use those things that you have on your face, then the criminals start to produce those things, which encourages the building of humans. You're getting criminal money to be invested into creating bits of body for humans. You're creating artificial humans, and that is an industry. You're creating basically robots or synthetic robots or biological robots or human robots, because all the money's going in order to get the information and personal information from someone else. So you can see how they're actually building this different human made out of 3D printing. So if the initiative is to be able to get 3D printed humans, then that will be paid for through criminal activity trying to get your money. So it's very clever how they're doing this. Technology can't keep you safe, but if they make you believe it can, then you'll give up anything in order to keep it safe. Now, the other thing that I think is going to happen is, I just talked about superficial things. I just talked about your eyes, your face, your voice. But how about proving to something like a machine your authenticity by what's inside your body? So, for instance, I don't know, DNA or the heart rhythms or patterns or something like that. Well, you need something inside your body to give information to the machine to tell them that, what's in your body is authentic. Well, in order to do that, you need to have something inside your body, like nanochips. And then those nanochips would be then giving information to a wristband, which would be amplifying it, or to your phone, which is amplifying it. I wonder where that nanotechnology is coming from. I wonder what liquid people are having put into their bodies at the moment that contain little nanobots. I wonder what things in the future that will be mandatory every 6 months are going to be put into your system that will have that type of technology in it. I wonder if it's called hydrogel. I wonder what else hydrogel has in it. I wonder if hydrogel has some sort of medicine in it that can protect you against things like that are attacking you that you can't see. I wonder if that's what's going on. And so the way that I sort of think about this, I think that this is actually they're going after the soul. That they want to go after the soul, but they can't get the soul because the soul's in a different dimension. And what they want is they want to control and dominate the soul. They can't. So they have to do the next best thing. And this is the way that I sort of think about it at the moment. Imagine there's someone on the moon. We don't have the technology to get to the moon, but there's someone on the moon which is communicating to Earth. And he's got business here on Earth. We want that business, but we can't get to him. But he's making all the decisions to make this business on Earth really good. And he has a representative on Earth which is managing his business. And that representative then looks at the society, looks at everything, gives him information, and then that person on the moon makes a decision as to what needs to happen, sends the information back, and then the man here then does what he needs to do. Now, if you can't get to the man on the moon, then the next best person is the representative. So what do? How do you get the representative to give faulty information to the man on the moon? Well, you change his perception of reality. I wonder if that's happening. You censor information. Ooh, I wonder if that's happening. And you give him false information. Ooh, I wonder if that's happening. So the information, the man down here who's running the business starts to believe that what he's being told is true. And he's changing his perception of reality and believing it to be true. And then he then gives that information to the man on the moon. And the man on the moon now has false data. He now is making decisions from information which is being purposely given by them to his representative. And the man on the moon then starts to make decisions based on that information given, which then works in the favor of the people down here, not the representative and not of him. So they can't get to the soul. So the man on the moon is the soul, and your ego and your understanding of this world is the representative down here. They can get to the representative. And so the soul is very powerful, and if they can redirect or manipulate the energy from the soul, because the soul is what's powering the engine down here, the soul is what's powering the business. They don't want to get rid of the man up there, they don't want to get rid of the soul. They need it, because this entity, which is a non-human entity, doesn't seem to have a soul. It might be artificial intelligence, it might be a very low form of consciousness, but they want the soul because the soul contains energy in order to power things. They don't want the soul to know what it is doing, but they want to take it over. They can't take it over, so they need to dominate the information which is going to the soul, and that's going through the ego and the mind. So if they can get to the mind, and they can get to the ego, and they can get to the perception of reality, then they can start to misdirect the consciousness which is behind that, because that's where the power comes from. And that's what I think is what's happening.